so that God's love, fellowship, and trueness are manifested in your daily living. And ultimately, you walk by faith knowing God and enjoying his fellowship. He has called us to a special fellowship, to a special relationship with him. Not just to know about him, but to know him, to know his work in our life. And it's interesting that when we think about fellowship, the Bible gives a definition, and we'll find that definition in chapter 1 in 1 John. But I think fellowship comes also with experience. And when you share with someone how your fellowship, how God works in your life, of course you can bring a lot of arguments from the Bible. But I think the change that God does in our life speaks more and more to people, because they can relate with your experience. So now, diving into the text for tonight, I have looked in this chapter, and it's a very, very interesting chapter. Verses 1 to 4, they are an open statement for the word of life. And John there writes very, very interesting things. And as I said, if you look in verse 1, he says, "That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life." Verses 1 and 2, they depict Jesus, the Son of God, who was from the beginning the word of life. The life was manifested, and that eternal life, which was with the Father, was manifested unto John and the disciples. Now, when John uses the word "we," he says, "which we have heard, which we have seen, our hands have handled," bear witness. There are two key words over there that I would like you to draw the attention to. It's the beginning and the word "we." When Apostle John says "from the beginning," there is a double meaning to that one. First of all, is the beginning of gospel ministry. And then secondly, is the beginning of Jesus being from the beginning. And then the word "we," it refers to John's apostleship. And he keeps saying and repeating that, and he actually emphasizes it from verse 1 to 3. "We have heard, we have seen. We have seen it and bear witness, which we have seen and heard, declare we unto you." Jesus is no made-up story, John says. The word of life is no made-up story. John says, "I was there. I saw everything that Jesus did. I was an eyewitness. I heard him speaking. I even touched Jesus. I declare to you, and the manifestation that the Father has given to us is true. This is no made-up story." But as well, John, when he says "that which was from the beginning," he refers to Genesis 1, chapter 1 to 3. Genesis 1, verses 1 to 3. If you'd like to quickly go over there. And we read, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of water. And God said." And then again in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 1 to 3, John starts writing, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was